So I was thinking about this over the break, and I started to realize if Bohemia somehow does, in fact, win this game, that would be one of the greatest AI-only battle victories we've ever seen on this channel, because they did start off in the middle of the map. They were in such a tough spot in the very beginning. I don't know, though. They still have several enemies on the edges of the map that are doing really well. I mean, if we were to look at the demographics, the Bohemians are still pretty good in terms of literacy, soldiers, manufactured goods, crop yields, and population. It's just that Portugal seems to be catching them. And if we start to look at some of the kind of other countries along the edges of the map, we still have Egypt with artillery. We have Assyria doing pretty well, although remember, Assyria has like no military because they've been fighting this endless war against the Armenians. If someone like Egypt were to attack and maybe go after Damascus, they would probably have a lot of success. I still think it's anybody's game. It seems like the game is, knock on wood, but it seems like the game is running really smoothly still. So I think we might be able to make it to at least turn 450, at least. So I still think that anybody could come out of nowhere, especially in the late game. And I talk about this all the time. I say the late game is when AIs go crazy because they've got the technology to do so. AIs are a lot better at using, fighters and bombers and artillery weapons to take over cities. So there's a very interesting conflict that popped up, not this Netherlands-Vandals conflict, and not the Scottish-Moroccan conflict. Actually, there it is right there. Yeah, Bavaria versus France. So there might not be an immediate border between these two, but France and Portugal, for some reason, they're cool with each other. So France is just walking on through, just north of Bern, and he's going to try to attack Munich. Now, this could solidify. This is why I talked about Bohemia in the intro, because I've been talking about how easy Munich would be to fall to the Bohemians, especially if, I mean, look at the Bavarians are pretty much lining their border along the west, so Bohemia could theoretically just walk in. 27 population city. I mean, obviously that would go down to, geez, I don't want to math today because Cracklord, I can definitely tell he's just waiting to say something. He's just waiting, and I'm just like, no, don't mess this up for me, not this early in the video. So, see, okay, now this is like the third or fourth war that we've seen so far declared on Bohemia. So clearly, there's kind of a coalition building. There's definitely a coalition building. And then, yeah, people have been trying to go after the Dutch for a long time. Looks like Assyria took a new city away from the Armenians. I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, it's going to be close now. Look at Arabia move up through Assyrian territory. Okay, so are we missing anything? Portugal and the Dutch have peaced out. That's kind of a big deal. Hungary and the Dutch are now at war. Everyone's at war with the Netherlands, pretty much. Everybody. And, yeah, so that's the interesting thing. Egypt now declared war on Bavaria. That makes me think, I mean, Bohemia has been really quiet. Let's be real here. Bohemia has been extremely quiet as of the last several videos. So maybe, I don't know, they don't really have a large military. I mean, they do. Well, they're number one in the world, Drew, but I think that part of that is mainly because they've got an awesome navy. I also discussed that. They don't really have the army, though, I don't know, to march into Munich. Especially, I don't know how strong these Bavarian, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. Nope, not going to do it. That's that will cause endless pain on both ends. And then we still have the Gothic-Prussian conflict. I think that's still going, right? Ooh, but the Goths better worry about the Huns. I actually don't even remember what's going on in Eastern Europe. Who knows what's happening here? I'll kind of examine the region. Oh, also, Scotland should fall. I think Scotland's going to fall this turn. Remember, the Celts pieced out, but yeah, this could be a huge victory for Queen Victoria. She needs to get, obviously, a melee unit in there. But, yeah, that would be the end of the Scots. I don't believe they have any other colony throughout the world. Egypt's no longer carrying. They are now settling along the Sahara Desert, which means Carthage, Songhai, Morocco. Everyone needs to kind of worry now more because Egypt's obviously the main power out of Africa at the moment. Yep, there it goes. Bam. How did they take that? What did they take that with? Does the Redcoat get extra movement or something? I don't know, because he was here. That's a hill tile. That's a river. I don't know how he did that, but whatever. Either way, Scotland has been destroyed, and the British now are winning inside of the British Isles. I'd say they're definitely the winning civ at the moment. But the Celts are pretty powerful. This is, like I said, this is the strongest we've ever seen the Celts. So if they're going to be able to defend themselves from Queen Victoria, because they've never really been able to do it in the past, but this might be the time. they might be able to do it today. Today's the day. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to get too hyped up. Remember, the second AI-only battle, and I don't know, maybe we were playing with England, but I remember we had a really good Scottish mod. I need to find that Scottish mod. It wasn't the yellow Scottish mod. They had like more of a Celtic blue to them. That Scottish mod did really well, and they actually destroyed England in the second edition to the Europe AI-only battles. So I might want to look at them into the future. We're going to wait. I'm going to discuss probably tomorrow some future AI-only battles for the next one after this. I still think we have a while into this one. This one's so amazing. So amazing. Like I cannot stress enough how awesome this is. Assyria and Armenia have peaced out, and they ended up taking the city. I didn't even see that notification. Or did they, wait a second, did they peace out for this city? No, they took this one. They peaced out for this one. No, that's not true, because there's health, obviously, Drew. Did they take that and I was just not paying attention? I'm guessing so. Wow, Armenia's in a bad spot. Now look at Byzantium here. I did forget Bohemia. Oh, Bohemia has Hungarian open borders, which means they can walk in here and maybe take Athens. There's no way they take Constantinople. I know that Bohemia is strong, but there's just no way. I don't think. Byzantium needs to worry about this conflict, though. If they can peace out Bohemia, then they can focus on... I mean, because Armenia is not going to be able to defend this. So the Byzantine Empire could at least grab another city in this location, and that would be a start for them. I can't help but always kind of give Byzantium like a kind of a dark horse. They always feel like a dark horse to me in these maps, just because Byzantium had done so well in the past. I do think that it is possible for them to be successful, because they have access to like the Mediterranean, and that's really important. Now, they probably won't now, because Egypt's too big of a threat. You know, once Egypt annexed these cities and started creating a fleet, that was where I think Byzantium, they probably won't be number one, but Byzantium has a chance, I think, of maybe getting pretty far, maybe top 5. That would be kind of cool. I think I need to start doing that in the future. Instead of picking just one civ to win, we should pick like the top 2 or 3. That'd be pretty hard though, especially because it's all like interpretation. Switzerland has adopted freedom. All right, so I don't know how long they're going to keep that for. I don't even know how long Switzerland's going to survive, because remember, Switzerland's at 1 city at the moment, so Zurich might, and they're smashed in between several great powers. The Dutch, Portugal, France, Bavaria. Western Europe as a whole actually looks really powerful. I mean, I guess so does Eastern Europe, but I mean, France is good. The Dutch are good. The British, the Celtic Empire, we've got Portugal here. This is a really strong Western Europe, and that's usually, we don't usually see that. We usually, I can't remember how many times I've always been like, oh man, Western Europe really needs to like consolidate in order to, you know, face the threat out of North Africa or Eastern Europe, but they look good. They look good right now. I like them. Okay, so there's a pretty big peace deal. Well, it wasn't like the Dutch were even going after Bavaria, but that's an interesting peace deal that just occurred. Let's see what Bohemia does in the Siege of Athens. They might stall here. We might see them stall. Stall out, I mean. I don't think they're just sitting here waiting. Prussia and Arabia have peaced out. I can't... So, are the Huns at war with Prussia? Is that what's happening? There is a peace deal, yeah, but I want to know what the Huns are doing. And I want to know why the Huns have allowed the Russians to stay alive for so long. These are 21, both 21 population in both of these cities. And they're just like, yeah, it's fine. You guys could live up there. It's all good, bro. I don't know. Especially from Attila himself. Like, Attila is freaking terrifying. He doesn't care about friendship. Obviously, he doesn't like the Russians, but he hasn't chosen to go after them just yet. I think the Russians have still a strong enough military where the Huns are like, I don't really want to deal with all that. Deal with that massive conflict. Ooh. The Goths just declared war on Russia, which is kind of a big deal. Russia needs to get their booties back home. They need to start booty grabbing cities. Because if they don't, Russia needs to start to expand. And I don't know why they haven't. I mean, I'm guessing they chose to play tall with 221 population cities. I bet you anything they're starving now, because they've been slapping down these citadels. Egypt and the Dutch peaced out. Okay. This would be actually a pretty interesting conflict. I think this is just going to weaken both of these powers. And then maybe Prussia has a chance of coming back. Maybe. I mean, they ended up only losing, what, 1 or 2 cities, I thought? And I'm still waiting for a Scandinavian war. I think it's going to happen, but I don't know. I don't exactly know. Oh, Scotland is still around. So they do have a colony. They must have a colony out this way, right? Where? Oh, are they here? Yes, that's right. That's why Morocco declared that war. Oh, that's a smart move, Morocco. There are also a lot of units in North Africa. Yeah, that's a pretty smart move. Yeah, they're dead. So now Scotland's gonna die. The Moors continuing to exist. So is Milan. I think Milan will eventually fall. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think Florence is gonna survive. I don't think Florence is actually gonna get destroyed. Because of their location, because the Italian peninsula never really did anything. I think it's totally possible for Florence to end up with the existing, I guess. Existing. I was gonna say with the victory, but then I like pulled back there and I was like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. That's a little bit too much. France is gonna try, but it doesn't matter. Scotland's gonna get taken by Morocco. Now what do the British do? Well, the British first need to focus on taking out the Celts. Or Sweden, too. I mean, Sweden's not in the best of situations. Rome and Morocco have peaced out. I didn't realize that they were at war. Okay, so everyone's going to go after Scotland until Scotland is destroyed. Hungary. The Moors have chosen autocracy. How is this going? You're going to need some melee units here, dude. Yeah, you're going to need a lot more melee units. Cristo Redentor, built by Bavaria. Jeez, that is such an amazing city. I feel like, if Bohemia takes Munich, I mean, it's almost game over. Because it has so many wonders. They must get some, like, amazing wonder production. They've got to. Because this is crazy. They have, like, I don't know, they've got over 10 for sure. And they're not even, like, it's not even the biggest city in the world. It's 27 population. The biggest city is actually under Bohemia, 37 Warsaw. Which is kind of crazy, now that I think about it. Okay, they should be fine. They're fine. False alarm. Florence is fine. Iceland. I mean, I'd be pretty afraid of Iceland. And this is the second time France is going to try to move through Portuguese territory to attack somebody. Good. Bohemia has pieced out Florence. Bohemia now realizes Florence is too powerful. And I'm sure Florence is getting at least a few hundred gold per turn because of, because they realize that Florence is the prophet. Yeah, Byzantium is fine. I think Bohemia should peace out with Byzantium at some point, unless they already have. They could have. Look at all the Hungarian riflemen. What are you doing, Hungary? That was a journey. You just made yourself a journey. Are you going after Arabia? Arabia is not, bad to pick up either. 3 cities, 15, 22, and 14 population. I would take that. It'd be very difficult. Actually, it wouldn't be very difficult for them to take Baghdad, Egypt to take Baghdad. But because Egypt decided to not settle a coastal city on the Red Sea, that was a big deal. Manhattan Project. That's the first Manhattan Project, right? I think it is. By Bohemia. And another golden age has dawned. Perfect. Clearly our submarine is happy. Clearly people are loving submarine life. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so pretty much Rome declared war on the Pope. Prussia will have some help. Finally, at least something happened in the Italian Peninsula. That's the only thing that I'm a little bit disappointed by. The Italian Peninsula didn't end up uniting. Because Morocco is kind of failing here. France would have a chance, or Portugal would have a chance, unless Portugal's already at war with Scotland. I don't know if they are or not, but a few frigates and privateers would get the job done. Scotland and the Dutch. The Dutch might try something. The Dutch have been pretty crazy in this campaign. Okay, let's check on the Goths and there's their peace deal. The Goths and Russia. This would be a pretty big deal. If the Goths get both of these cities, We need to start to maybe consider a Gothic dark horse here. Because, I mean, I don't know. That'd be pretty crazy. Because they're sandwiched in between the Huns and Prussia. It wouldn't be the easiest path to victory, but they certainly have enough time. I think they would definitely have enough time to run away with this. The only thing about the Goths is they don't have any help for the Huns. They don't know... There's nobody here to kind of counter the Huns out in the east or in the south. The Goths could get Bohemia's help, I guess, to attack Prussia. The Goths have already shown that they also... Who's that? Finland? Or no, that was the Dutch, right? But there are several powers that could, you know, help the Goths take over Prussia. The problem is that Hunnic war would have to be one-on-one. So there's only one pathway I think I see for the Goths. Let's say the Goths go after Prussia. They're going to need to call somebody else in. They've got several other... they could form several teams, you know, with Finland, with Sweden, Bohemia. There's a lot of different opportunities there. They've got to sweep over Gothic cities, though, Prussian cities, as quickly as possible, and then set their sights on the Huns, and hopefully not lose as much military. That's the one path that I can see for them. They're going to take Moscow, and if they dedicate enough, they could probably take this other city from Russia. That would destroy Russia. Great Britain has denounced Bavaria. Papal states have also chosen autocracy. Looks like we have an African peace deal too. Denouncement's still going on, like all over the place, which is crazy. I think what we'll see is more, at least as we approach like turn 400, we'll see more ideological wars. So probably autocracy nations going after order nations. And then at a certain point, most people will have a revolution, or most of the order nations will have been destroyed, and then it'll just be like all-out war between the autocratic countries. I'm guessing. I also want to see if the Goths continue to push forward, because this is going to be difficult. This would be, I think, still pretty difficult. The Goths have a technology advantage here, though. That's important. Wow, Morocco. So Scotland is going to exist, I think. I don't think anyone's going to go after and take out Scotland completely here. Africa is looking pretty interesting, too. This is such a weird game. So, like, part of the reason why this is such a weird game is because no one ever rose out of North Africa or the Italian Peninsula. And almost every single time we've done an AI-only battle, we've always seen that. So it's really, really weird that didn't happen in this game. And I think that's why we're seeing such different results here. A strong Bohemia, a strong Central Europe. Like, that's crazy. So the Vandals declared war on Morocco. That won't lead to anything, I don't think. Bohemia and the Vandals won't lead to anything either. But still kind of interesting. Turn 373. And I'm going to have to stop right there, though, guys. We'll see what happens with the Gothic-Russian conflict. They're going to have to keep pushing through. Oh my gosh, what are you doing with all these troops up here, Russia? Take them back home. I think it's clear that Eastern Europe is going to be a pretty interesting region over the course of the next like 2 or 3 videos. Whether the Goths take that last Russian city or not, I think that the Huns and the Prussians have got to be kind of plotting against what's happening. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.